requirement for our project, we were required to research an emerging technology. The emerging technology we decided to research was dual quaternion skinning. Dual quaternion skinning comes built into Maya, but it does not come built into 3D Studio Max. So to use it in 3D Studio Max, users have to code it themselves or use third-party plugins. Dual quaternion skinning provides much better looking results than linear blade skinning, as you can see. Now we'll be screening a short video to help you better understand the concept of dual quaternion skinning.
The candy wrapper artifacts of linear blend skinning have recently been solved by log matrix blending. Unfortunately, log matrix blending is considerably slower than linear blending. Postures can also occur where log matrix blending itself produces artifacts. Dual quaternion blending is about twice as fast as log matrix blending. Moreover, the properties of dual quaternion blending assure that no such artifacts occur. Another recently proposed algorithm for geometric skinning, so-called spherical blending, also eliminates most artifacts. However, it runs at about half the speed of our dual quaternion blending. Furthermore, spherical blending generates other subtle artifacts. Note the corruption of the text on the left. We observe no artifacts in dual quaternion blending. This is because of their advantageous mathematical properties discussed in the paper.
So hopefully that gave you a better understanding about the concept of dual quaternion skinning. Unfortunately, due to the scope of our project, we were unable to implement it into our project. Before we go on to our methodology, we'd like to discuss some of the key concepts and terms in our research question. The first concept was knowledge. What is knowledge? According to Solomon and Martin, knowledge in technology is the ability to implement complex technology in order to produce both reliably and in volume. The next concept we looked at was the level of difficulty. According to Yuan, level of difficulty is the magnitude of how hard something is to do or carry out. From qualitative and quantitative data, we found the most useful and reliable way to measure level of difficulty was through post-assessment and pre-assessment of research subjects. The next major concept we looked at was the animation skill set and the transfer. Transfer can be defined as the movement of something from one person or place into another. We chose to look into animation skill set specifically in order to get a more in-depth view of the concept, as opposed to looking at several holistic skill sets.
Final question you might ask is, why Max and why Maya? Well, the initial answer is we're animation students, but the more serious answer is, according to a number of industry professionals, Max and Maya are the most commonly used software packages in the industry. As Derek Shermenthi, the president of Media4orce, said, one thing is for sure, small businesses and even large businesses, there are no other programs that are as powerful and economical to choose. Our hypothesis was that there would be a correlation, a positive correlation between people knowledgeable in Maya and they would be able to transfer their skills to 3ds Max and vice versa. Thus, our null hypothesis was there is no correlation. Now we'll talk to you about our research methodology. Our research consisted of 2 separate days. One day we tested people knowledgeable in Maya to max, and the other day we tested max to Maya. On each day, they were given a pre-test and a post-test. They were also given a tutorial based on each day. On the Maya to Max day, they were given a Maya tutorial. On the Max to Maya day, they were given a Max tutorial. Then they were given a task to animate, do a simple animation in each program, a wave of the hand, and then they would render it out and give it to us to determine how good they did. For conducting our results, we chose to use a 4-point Likert scale instead of a 5-point Likert scale. The reason we did this was to get a forced dichotomy instead of people who would choose in the middle. According to Chang, according to Chang, there was no difference in the 4-point scale and the 6-point scale when we were choosing a forced dichotomy. So we also asked our stat consultant whether or not this would affect our stats, and he said that using a 4-point scale, it would be more readable in our data for the graphs that we produce. For our data, there were mostly CGT majors in our participants, and according to our data, there was also 5 max knowledgeables, which was much less than we anticipated, 30 Maya knowledgeables, and in between that, there were 15 who knew nothing. Or neither program. Sorry about that. And our methodology, we originally wanted 4 groups. We wanted the Maya knowledgeables, max knowledgeables, and a control group for each day. But since that would make our population for each group a lot smaller, since we didn't have a big population, we chose to go with just 2 groups, and that was the Maya day and the max day.
All right, I'm going to be explaining to you a little bit about the data itself. So we took all the variables from the pre-test survey, post-test survey, and the grading criteria, and plugged it into SPSS and ran a linear regression model. What we came out with is we had a very high significance level and R squared. The significance level over here basically says that our research was 99% significant. The R squared value indicates 0.805. What that comes from is all the variables used in the model explain 81% of the data. Likewise, with our Maya to Max study, our significance level was slightly lower, but still fell within 90%. Our R squared was also significantly lower, coming in at only 54%. This initially concerned us. What we did is we went to the statistics consultant once again and explained this to him. And he said that's all right because research methodologies of this kind typically come up with an R squared similar to this, so our research is still valid. Here we have the histograms and normal plots for the data. As you can see, they follow the normal probability curves well, and they fall within normal parameters. They follow the normal probability plot. The max to Maya normal plot follows the data a bit more than the Maya to Max. However, they still follow it very well for normal. And the box plots are showing the correlation between the variables used. The Maya to Max box plot, as you can see, all the variables in our study were very highly correlated to one another. In the Max to Maya box plot, however, the variables were not as highly correlated. However, they are still important to our study for acting as stabilizers and improving the R squared value of the data. Moving into the grading criteria itself, for the task itself, the animation had to be 2 seconds long, had to wave its hand 2 times, and the camera had to be in a right perspective view with the character looking at the camera. Each criteria